Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
We're just about to start a podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Don't worry about the 10 minutes that we didn't record that we just spoke about.
That was some of my best stuff ever.
It was actually pretty good.
Everything I said was factually correct.
My monologue was really good. It was genuinely good. So
I think Ben's really upset right now.
Yeah. Should we start the pod?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome everybody to the Nerdschatting podcast. My name is Nate, and with me are my two very good friends, JB and Ben. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't press record.
If there's some sort of time fraction in space that we've just entered and gone into a parallel universe.
Yeah. How you doing, Ben?
You're on your last warning. This kind of shit is unacceptable.
He has never done this before.
What is this? Amateur hour!
So, we were talking earlier, and we weren't recording, but we were saying about the Super Bowl was last night, and there were some trailers, and we were going to do a podcast about them, and we realised that the trailers were... Poor.
And thank you to the people we saw on Friday night in the pub who recognised us from the podcast, and we were all awkward about it.
Oh, yeah, we had a conversation about that.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
No, it
Nothing
does matter.
matters.
I think we should
Move
talk
on.
about it again.
No, it's too late
Ben,
now.
you saw someone on Friday night, and they recognised you from the podcast.
Yes, they did.
And you clammed up.
Yes, I did. Because
You shrunk into yourself.
Because I always feel incredibly awkward whenever anyone recognises me to do with the podcast, and then I don't know what to say. Even though I have verbal diarrhea on this podcast, I literally have no idea what to say when people come up to me face to face. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Lottie,
Yep.
Who recognised me and gave me a kiss on the cheek and said how great I was on this podcast.
You
Me,
are great.
not
I
you, and not you.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No,
so
of course,
it's fine.
yeah.
No, and she did the same for everyone.
Okay.
That's awkward.
Yeah. So, in absence of Super Bowl trailers, because
They were not great.
they were not great,
Yeah.
I want to talk about Star Trek.
Yes.
I'm just checking your recording.
You are just checking out recording
Okay,
again. That's fine. I am actually recording this time. So Star Trek Star Trek Discovery Season 2 is out. We're at 3 episodes now. It's every Friday it's out. Should say, first 2 episodes, really, really awesome. Third episode,
Oh.
big pile of, like...
Diminishing
Right.
returns.
Yeah. However, I'm sure it will pick up.
Well, I'm going to say that people need to pay attention to what you say now, because if the next episode isn't good, you might stop watching.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
But anyway, so as I said before, when we weren't recording, apologies.
Jack.
Star Trek, in its inception, was designed to be a multicultural, diverse cast of characters that showed what the world could be in the future.
Yes, the best of the universe.
Yeah. When we all work together and have none of these ridiculous issues.
Money's not a problem.
Yeah.
Food and shelter isn't a problem.
Yeah, and there's like no class system, and culture is all the same. Although
Sort of.
it's not all the same. We respect everyone's different cultures.
Yes. To varying degrees of difference.
So that's the point. Is what I want to talk about. How Star Trek has handled that idea over the years in different incarnations, well or poorly.
Star Trek diversity has changed with the times.
Absolutely, it has. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, and as I said again, in the time period when we weren't recording, is that there's been a massive shift, a gear shift in Disco Season 2, in my opinion, of inclusivity and diversity. There's a whole load more of sort of there's an ensemble cast.
Which there was in Season 1.
Yeah, but the side characters get a lot more to do. There's the 2 ladies who are on the front who are one's the pilot and one's the
Navigator?
Ensign?
maybe. It's basically where I never know with the I should know this about the bridge. I should, but it's where Sulu and Chekhov were in the original series.
Wow.
They're the navigators. They drive it, don't they?
One's a pilot, one's a
One was
navigator.
pilot, one was a
Yeah.
navigator.
So those 2 get a lot more to do in Season 2
Okay.
already. Saru's got more time, and alien characters. There are just characters that didn't exist before, just suddenly named and have lines. And I think Disco does a really, really great job of being strong female characters. And thank God for that. We need that. But what was it like back in the original series?
Very much not like that. Very much it was in the original series. So we're talking 65 when it came out. I can't remember. It was in the 60s.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was. It was a different time in America.
Was it? It was a different time.
It was a very different time. In America, you had
66.
66. Thank you. So that was
Well
the
done.
year that England won the World Cup.
Yes, I'm always going to remember that.
Thank you. Yeah. Also the year Eric Cantona was born. Anyway, Star Trek. What am I talking about? Sorry. So the diversity in the original series was they had a Russian person piloting the ship or
Navigating, we think.
navigating
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of those two.
yeah.
I think it was navigating.
Yeah.
And then they had a communications officer was Uhura.
Yeah, who was black and a woman.
Yes.
Who's in the command. She's in the command
she's
crew.
in the command
the
crew,
top.
yeah.
However, she is sat at the back quietly, only when spoken to.
Yeah, which is a little bit.
There are a few
not
lines
okay.
there drawn. Like this is one of the things.
We'll go so far, but we
yeah,
can't
exactly,
go too far.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
what were they willing to try?
Yeah.
And then you've got an Oriental character who's the pilot, another
Chief engineer is
unlikely
Scottish.
person at the time.
Science officer is
An
a
alien,
Vulcan.
yeah.
An alien Vulcan. Yeah.
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 But let's not forget that the main character was a
white male,
a
yes.
white male, a 30-year-old white male. Yeah,
Wearing a girdle. Yeah.
yeah. So how well do we think that they achieved their goals?
Well, I mean, didn't they have the first interracial kiss on TV?
They
Star
did,
Trek,
they
with,
did.
With Kirk and Uhura.
They did, absolutely.
Uhura.
Uhura.
Yeah, that's what I said, right?
Hulu?
Yeah. Do you need to clear your throat?
I do.
Yeah, I know you.
Hang
can't.
on. That's better.
Yeah.
Not into the mic, JB.
Oh, it's just
Hashtag
right.
pause for cough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did the first interracial kiss on TV, which is a huge thing at the time. Now it's, we don't even think about it now because it's not a thing.
It's a weird thing to
But at
say
the
out
time,
loud.
it was a thing
Yeah.
because of the civil rights movement in America and the fact that it was there was such diversity. There was such not diversity. There was such a division in the country between North and South and all that sort of thing. So
There are two ways to look at it. There are the context of the stories, the narrative, and then the casting in the real world.
right,
So pretty much everyone casting it is an American actor.
yes,
However, they're playing characters who are not from America.
sure,
So there are two ways to look at it, right? It's good that it's good that it has representation of cultures that might not have had representation on massive TV like that before.
Yeah.
However, they still weren't willing to go out or couldn't go out and find actors.
But it was
Who,
almost the first of its kind, so it probably laid the foundation work for that sort of diverse cast of characters to then go on. And it's become even more diverse
Absolutely.
into the 70s and
Absolutely.
the 80s
So
and 90s. And
of its time,
noughties
it was
and that.
allowed to do that. So we give it free rein, right?
Sure. I mean, okay, so not only did they have a black communications officer, they also had Russian navigator,
say navigator.
during the Cold War.
Yep.
When we just had the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was
so
a
chilly, wasn't it?
pretty big thing. Almost went to a nuclear war, which would have ended the world pretty much. So that was a big thing. It was 20 years after World War II, so they had to have a Japanese pilot.
Yeah.
Was a big thing because obviously there was, we were at war with Japan. America was certainly at war with Japan, and the whole world was at war with Japan at one time. And America didn't exactly treat some of its Japanese Native American, not Native American, sorry, but Japanese Americans living in the US well. During the Second World War, they put them into internment camps, and they weren't treated well. And then when they were inducted into the army, they were put onto the front lines and given really dangerous missions, and it was not a nice time.
So what you're saying is the fact that Sulu is there is a triumph.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that a Russian character
Yes.
is there during the Cold War is a triumph.
But God forbid they actually get a Russian actor.
No, yes, that's too far.
Right, okay.
But
But then-
at the time, that was too far.
Is that not true today? Or there are not a lot of them around in mainstream American TV.
I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
Because that's fine. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you both a question then
Yes.
about how they handled aliens in Star Trek. So, majority of the times, aliens are the antagonists in the show, right? They're normally they're shooting lasers and being angry.
Yeah, sure.
So let's focus in on Spock.
Okay.
Spock is the alien in the command crew.
Yes,
He's the outsider.
sure.
And yet even Spock, the outsider, has to be made half human. Talk to
I
me.
see what you mean. Yeah.
Talk to me. JB?
Go on, JB, you say some words.
I don't know if I want to today because I've got a really silly voice. Now, I don't know whether we talk about whatever you're talking about, what you are talking about. I can definitely relate to, but I think isn't the whole point of the start of Star Trek? It was a little bit of fun, and people may not have taken it seriously. Hence why you've got this Vulcan. You're like, I don't know how to relate to that, and then you're kind of like, well, just take an emotion out of anybody.
Yeah.
And there you go. You've got this person, and I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know at what point sort of the Klingons came in terms of aliens and things like that, because they look quite peculiar and
Not
are
then,
different.
They didn't know.
Well,
did they not?
Back then, they were probably the most racist element because they basically looked like people from the Middle East.
Wow.
More or less, that's what they were done like. And that's not okay.
No.
But they were the villains of the piece, which is very strange.
But is it because makeup artists and
Yes,
things like this back in the day, you couldn't do that?
Budgetary,
right?
definitely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like,
there's
well, how
definitely
much?
elements to it,
I can do some pointy ears. That's just about done.
And I suppose that going back to Spock, there's a plot device with him being half human because you can make him have, struggles, understanding, but also being one foot in one door, 1 foot in the other. So I can see why they've done that, but it does break away from me that there's an acronym. Sorry, an initialism.
Oh no!
Whatever.
Oh no!
Called it's IDIC, IDIC, which is infinite diversity in infinite combinations, and that is a Vulcan proverb expression that's meant to be about being diverse and there being possibilities and being the whole universe having all these different chances and outcomes. So they kind of tried to apply IDIC to the.
That's what they did in the original series.
Yeah,
you
they
think?
did. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Very good. I think they made Spock half human because people possibly wouldn't like a fully alien character being on the command crew. So
Do you really?
Do you know what? Let's make him half human. Let's give him a human mum or dad. No, we'll go with mum, and then we'll kill her. Excellent. Well,
Wow.
they didn't do that in the original series.
No,
That was later.
Do you honestly think that's why they did it?
I don't know, man. It could be what you said. It could be what I said. It could be something else. But I think there was possibly a discussion at some point in a high up building at a very big table where someone went, "Oh no, we can't have a complete alien on there. Let's make him half human. Then people will be able to relate to him a bit more. Because if he's just an alien, they might not be able to relate to him."
But as an alien, he didn't look that much different to
No,
them. It was just pointy ears, basically,
Yeah.
and a paler skin.
Yeah. He's got like pointy eyebrows.
Oh yeah,
then
but
that-
I mean
like,
that's cool now,
some
isn't it?
people
I
can
mean,
have that.
Ben's got them today. They look amazing. Your
Yeah,
pointy
yeah.
eyebrows, by the way.
So, should we move on from the original series? We've kind of very, very early skipped. Ben's taking a picture of his face to just check his eyebrows. You've really you triggered him.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
My eyebrows are just fair, you prick.
I know. Oh, wow.
You're making me feel really self-conscious now.
My eyebrows are just fair, you prick.
I mean, it's just kind of like, wow. I don't even know. Ben, I was joking.
Yeah. Okay. Still
Yeah.
looking. So the next
Yes.
generation, we skip ahead a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ben, you're our timekeeper. When do we skip ahead to?
1987.
Correct.
Thank you.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And so we're nearly 20 years.
Yes.
And
Well, 21 years from whatever. Doesn't
it
matter.
ended in 69.
Fine. Okay.
70s,
Yeah.
69,
Fine.
70s.
Yeah.
So, what do we do here with diversity? What's going on in this one? Because
So in between the TV show ending, you have some of the Star Trek original cast movies, and in those movies, the Klingons, and in the original series,
5, I believe.
you've got 5 movies in that time. Fine.
Yeah.
I'd say 4, but I'm prepared to be wrong.
When is Final Frontier out?
I'm going to say 89.
You might be right. It was 89. Well done. 4 movies.
See that, JB? See that?
Mate, you're on fire today.
And I don't even have a device in front of me apart from my phone, which I'm not even looking at right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a couple of films that came out. Now, the first one, I think, by everyone's admission, isn't great.
There's an urban myth about the motion picture that it was one of the first edits.
Oh,
They rushed it out.
Oh, I see.
Because there's a lot of very poor pacing in it. I think that's the thing people have problems with. The actual plot is pretty all right. It's it's like an episode of the original series. It's you're kind of like, oh, okay, that's a good twist at the end, but there are just these sweeping long shots that you just sit there and go, what is going on? Yeah, this is the most boring thing ever. So it just needs like half an hour sliced out of all of the scenes. So yeah,
half an hour sliced out of all of the scenes.
All of the scenes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in the original series and in the third Star Trek movie, the Klingons are geared towards them being the big bad guys.
Absolutely, they are.
Against the Federation. Yeah, the Federation are the good guys. The Klingons are the bad guys. There are other bad guys as well, but the Klingons are the bad guys.
Yeah.
So how do you make...
They're perfectly opposed. The Federation is all about peace and bringing people into the Federation and the infinite diversity, infinite combinations, and the Klingons are about fighting each other.
Warrior race.
Yeah.
Fighting and honour and all that sort of thing.
I cannot begin to tell you how much I love Klingons.
I love the Klingons.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the weakest die.
To make the next generation...
Very good.
To make the next generation diverse, they take a character who, at the point in the original series films, which are still going, the Klingons are the bad guys. They go, right, the Klingons are now part of the Federation. And we've got a Klingon on the bridge who's a good guy.
So then,
hang on, was he on the bridge to start with?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
what was he was like second in command security officer.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
he wasn't.
He was.
Tasha Yar was the head of security,
yes, she
and
was.
then she died through the
Is there some goop or something?
yeah, like a black goo thing.
Yeah, and then he stepped
Like a
up,
life
and then he
force.
got like a special cummerbund.
Well, I think he always had his. He always had his.
always had the cummerbund.
sash thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was gold, and then it turned to silver later.
Right. Okay.
He was originally wearing a red...
He was in a red
He was a
jumpsuit.
red shirt.
Yeah.
Or was he? I like the way they always stand up and they have to pull their shirts down
Yeah,
as
You
well.
know what that's called?
No.
You know
Is
what
that the
that's
Picard
called?
manoeuvre?
The Picard manoeuvre. Standing up,
Just give it a little shuffle.
giving a bit of a shuffle,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
it's all... That's because
So-
it was made from crap nylon, and it kept
You
on
keep
riding
running up,
up.
yeah. Get one that fits.
So what were we talking about?
So the-
Diversity in Star Trek.
So, yeah, but you've highlighted the two things I'm talking about there, about looking at the show from its real world, how they made it, and looking at the context inside it. So that's what they've done there. They said, right, what plot device can we do to make these characters diverse?
Yeah.
And put in a Klingon as one of the main characters, a good guy, raised by humans.
There you go.
Spock.
Is he?
Yeah. Which
Because
is
his
why-
parents were killed at Khitomer.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
was
god.
raised by Russian Russian English.
Right? Russian
Oh,
English.
yeah, always, yeah.
Raised by Russian humans.
You know what? I knew before we started recording this that we would open up some stuff that's inside us that we don't really recognise. There's definitely some things that we'll say that without realising it.
You saying that I'm racist?
I know you're racist. You're the most racist person I've ever met.
Please edit this bit out.
Wow. I'm joking, you're not. But I think it's funny. You're like Russian English. You knew what you meant is Russian humans, right?
Sure, yeah, that's what I meant, Russian humans.
There was something in there that
So,
was like coming out.
I think the other diverse thing that Next Generation did was they created a new bad guy that literally could be anyone. So they created the Borg.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
The
but that's much
Borg-
later on. No, they were introduced early, but they weren't really a major threat to
I
us.
thought
But they
Q,
could
wasn't
be-
that a bad guy?
Yeah, but Q's an interesting one because he's not really a bad guy. He's kind of like
An anti-hero,
he's
really.
a thing that makes you question.
Oh, he's
your
definitely a bad
existence.
guy. In my
Okay.
eyes.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't like you.
Yeah.
But the Borg, they assimilate all
Yeah, but
cultures.
this was right at the end of the
all-
season, surely.
It was probably in season 2, I think they
Best
might have shown
of
that.
both were well. No, Q introduced him to the Borg.
Yeah, but when was that? Season 2, I think.
I'm not sure, but
Doesn't matter.
But the best of both worlds, like when the Borg really kick in,
It was end of season
is
3?
3, 4. I think it's the finale of 3 and the
Yeah.
beginning
But
of
the
4.
Borg are a bad guy that can be anyone. The Borg aren't one. It's not one race, one person. It's anyone and everyone. So that's a diversity as well, I think.
So the
because it's
Borg
not
is-
just an alien. It's not just a gay character or a black character or a Vulcan character. It can be anyone, and that's they put an
Oh,
awful
what you're saying?
lot
They don't
of-
care. They just become
Yeah,
one.
So exactly.
Emotionless.
So is the Borg the Federation like on crack? Because the Federation is all about
It's-
joining together,
it's the-
working together,
Yeah, but
and
it's about having-
assimilating each other's cultures.
But it's the direct opposite of the Federation because they don't respect other people's cultures. They assimilate it
Right.
into their own,
Right.
and all their technology and advancements will be added to their own.
Right.
So their diverseness is we don't care who you are, you're going to be us. That's it.
Do you think there's anything? This is a loaded question.
Oh, here we
You
go.
can answer this one then,
Do you
mate.
think there's anything in the design of the Borg to suggest good or evil? the look, the colour palette, maybe.
What are you thinking, Nate?
Okay, in Westworld, you have
Yes.
Black Hat, White Hat.
Yes.
Black Hat is a mean bastard.
Yes.
White Hat is the angelic one, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So the Borg are a bit of both?
Yes, because they have very pale skin.
Yeah, but they're all wearing black
They're all wearing
mechanical
black clothing.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah.
So anyway, let's go back to the Next Generation command crew.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
do that.
So you've now got so you've got a Klingon.
Yep.
You've got a black guy who's the pilot.
Yep.
Who then goes on to be the chief engineer.
Was he the pilot?
LaForge,
Yeah,
the pilot,
yeah,
which was the joke in the season 1 because he was blind. He had a visor on, but he was piloting the ship.
Well, that's because he had his visor on.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
can
Yeah,
see.
Yeah, but he yeah, sure, okay.
Okay.
Stop it.
You've got an android.
You've got
Data.
basically Spock, right?
Sure.
So you need a Spock, but you can't do Spock again.
Because you've done Spock already.
Well, you could have just brought Vulcan on board.
You could have done, but wouldn't that have been a cop out?
Well, the thing is, Spock is goes through everything, every Star Trek franchise. He's in there somewhere.
Yeah, true.
They just mix
yeah,
him in there.
yeah.
Though I don't know if he was in Deep Space Nine.
Oh, I don't know actually.
But there's a theme
Would
of-
Would Odo be the Spock of Deep Space Nine?
Probably.
Yeah, his face.
Yeah.
I
Was he
didn't
the
like.
sheriff? Was he of the
Yeah, he's chief of security. Yeah,
chief
yeah.
security?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to Deep Space
Sorry.
Nine just yet.
I just-
For
I
God's sake,
But
JB.
do you know what's
God.
really
Wait
interesting
in
about
line.
Next Gen, though?
What?
About the command crew and the diversity. So they...
There's a
they-
counsellor.
Yes, absolutely. They double the amount of white American guys in command because you've got Riker as well.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and they you've got Dr. Crusher.
Yeah.
Thank God,
Yeah.
main female character. But you've also got the counselor,
Deanna Troi.
Yeah, but why does she have to be a counselor?
Why not?
Because
Probably 'cause she's
I
caring.
feel like it's a complete and utter sign of the 90s, 80s, 90s, where everyone needs to sit down and talk about their feelings.
People still need to do that today, Nate.
No,
Just
I don't
because
talk about
everyone's
feelings.
closed off like you.
Pigeonholes and shutters.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think probably
Okay.
the Starfleet realised that it's a tough gig
Yeah.
flying a spaceship into deep space,
Yeah.
and sometimes you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
And the fact
Go
that
on.
I've forgotten, a classic. Can she read minds?
No, she's an empath.
She's
She
an
can
empath.
read your feelings.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But what I did like, we're only really with the original series and with this, we've only really talked about how the status quo starts, right? But I like that the Next Gen allowed those characters to grow. You're right. Worf became chief of security and became much more embellished character. You got more about his backstory, more about his parentage. He had a son, all that sort of stuff. Deanna Troi went through the command program, becomes a lieutenant commander, and then is given a much more progressive role. Like, she's not even in uniform in the first season. She's in like a grey jumpsuit. She's still a lieutenant. She's there, right? But then later on, they're like, no, hang on. We are absolute dickheads. She needs to be wearing her blue outfit, that everyone else is wearing, not over-sexualise this character. And I like that they did that with her. But
Like
obviously-
JB said as well, Tasha Yar was the head of security when the show started.
Yeah, great,
She didn't
yeah.
finish that way. Was it the first season they killed her off? I think it
I
was.
believe it was, yeah.
Because she wanted to do more than just, all right, Captain, I'll fire a phaser or a photon torpedo at that target, and it's destroyed, Captain. And that was all she was getting, basically. She got hacked off with that. But they had written her as a strong female character to be as part of the bridge crew, as part of the command crew.
Very progressive in the
Yeah.
early 80s. Late 80s.
Yeah, it was the late 80s. You're right, yeah.
I still feel, I don't know why, but there's just something about me that has this gut instinct that feels the Next Gen wasn't quite as progressive as the original series.
I think it could have done more.
And maybe the lead female characters are good things there. You've got Tasha, you've got Deanna, and you've got Dr. Crusher.
Yeah.
Which
By the way,
obviously-
I hated the replacement doctor, Dr. Pulaski.
Yeah.
Oh, she was so awful because she hated Data, didn't trust him. Then she had to learn her arc where she grew to love Data, or not love him, but respect him as a person. And then they got rid of her. Great, thanks for that.
Yeah, but would you not struggle if a robot just rocked up to you?
Yeah.
Trust them?
Yeah.
Have you never seen one before?
No, not if I
Really?
lived in the
Have you-
24th century.
T1000, they'll mess you up.
Yeah. And but then in Next Gen, you also then bring in Wesley Crusher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, I was thinking about this in my brain. You know what it's like. I'm just like, what Did he become like some sort of supernova or something?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
He starts out. He's just
Wes.
Dr. Crusher's
Just Wes.
son.
Yeah.
Who I like the storyline that there was always the possibility that he could have been
Picard's son.
Not actually, but like when they were growing up, Picard and Beverly Crusher were close.
Courting?
And they could have been. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he becomes an ensign, flies the ship for a bit, navigates, and then becomes one with light or something.
Yeah.
Does he go off with some traveller or something?
The Traveller, I think it's called the Traveller. Yeah. That's.
But then he comes back.
He is there in.
Nemesis.
Yeah, is he in there in Insurrection? I think at the beginning of Insurrection, Riker and Troy
Nemesis.
get married.
Nemesis.
No.
Dude,
No.
seriously? It's Nemesis. The one where you've got Tom Hardy as Picard's clone.
Yeah, that is Nemesis. But what happens at the beginning of Insurrection? Don't they meet there? Oh no, there's a ambassadorial thing going on in 10 Forward.
Fine.
Because Picard has to wear a weird headdress.
Sure, okay.
Where they make fun of alien culture.
I'll take
How
your word for
progressive
it.
Next Gen is.
Yes. Should we move on to Deep Space Nine?
Yes.
Excellent. Over to you. I never watched it.
Oh, Deep Space Nine is one of the best Star Treks ever. When it kicks into gear.
See, I watched, I think, the first season, and then that was it. I couldn't deal with it anymore.
I absolutely thought it was dog shit and watched none of it.
That's because you've got to get to season 4.
Boring.
No.
The whole thing's boring.
What do you say?
I know.
If you cannot get on board with something, don't waste your time watching it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Well,
it
it
was
wasn't
awful.
rubbish. You're all wrong. But as soon as season 4 kicks
awful.
in, you get Way of the Warrior, and that's when the Klingons go to war with the Cardassians, and the Dominion
When you say
War starts
Kardashians.
properly. Yeah. And that is when Deep Space Nine really revs into gear.
So what is the diversity in Deep Space Nine? You've got a shape-shifting head of security.
Yeah. You got a black commander.
Yes, who
Who's in
hated
charge.
Picard because Picard killed some of the crew
No,
at the end of
Picard
Best
was
of Both Worlds.
Yeah, Picard was Locutus, and he
when he was borged up.
At Wolf,
When he was bogged
at Wolf 359, which is the battle.
That's right. Yeah.
Picard as Locutus obliterated a fleet of Starfleet ships, and it's where
Benjamin Sisko didn't like him.
it's when Jennifer died.
Okay, fine. Right, that's bad, obviously.
Yeah. But that was a purposeful move on the writers of Deep Space Nine to differentiate it from Next Generation.
Yeah, these guys don't like the Next Gen.
They don't
their
like
own
each
thing.
other, and they're unlikely to meet again.
Yeah.
They did a nice handover. The Enterprise is there at DS9, and then they go, "We are not going to talk anymore."
Isn't Deep Space Nine? Isn't that a Bajoran space station that the Federation have taken over or something?
Yes,
or
it's
they're
had
looking
lots of
after
different owners. It was also Cardassian owned at one point
'Cause
because
now-
Cardassians were
They basically enslaved the Bajorans,
they
didn't
did
they?
yes
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a Cardassian on board, and you've got a Bajoran officer on board,
Yep.
and they don't like each other very much, but they have to learn to get on.
Are you talking about Garrick,
Yeah.
the tailor?
Yeah.
Garrick's one of the most interesting characters.
But he's a Cardassian, right?
Yes.
Sorry, not Kardashian, Cardassian.
He's interesting because it's the Cold War
Yes.
again.
There you go.
So diversity in this show.
Ferengi as well.
I really am not a fan of Ferengis. I've had my eyes opened to what they are.
Yes. They're
They're anti-Semitic.
really anti-Semitic.
Is this because you're of recent TV watching or what?
No, it was on. Help me, Ben. Imaginary Worlds podcast. There were different faith leaders talking about fantasy and sci-fi, and they were talking about the Ferengi being a quite. It hadn't occurred to me because I'm probably not from that ethnic background or culture, but they are every stereotype that is attributed to Jewish culture in a negative way.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not good at all. It's sorry. It's not good to have them portrayed the way they are in any way, shape, or form.
So,
But they're on board the S9. is
my
what I'm
question
saying.
to you is, who are the Bajorans in the real world?
Interesting,
Because-
I would attribute them towards people who live in Israel,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, because the Cardassians, not Kardashians, are Nazis?
Yes, space Nazis,
Space Nazis.
and they're really not nice people.
I've just realised where knife lasers are.
What?
In Star Trek. Phasers are knife lasers.
Oh, for God's sake. Fine.
That's why I like them.
Fine. Okay. So the diversity in DS9 is that you've got several different races living on board a space station, which is on the edge of Bajoran space, which is also very close to Cardassian space. Plus, there's a wormhole to the
left of me.
So
what quadrant is it?
Gamma quadrant.
The Gamma quadrant.
So
there you go.
I'm gonna walk into a minefield. Is this the Middle East? Because you've got people neighbouring who have been at war for a long time, and you've got the Federation, the West, coming in to try and make peace, and failing or succeeding. Is this what we're talking about here?
I think it possibly is It was a commentary on the Middle East at the time.
So
yeah.
are they saying
and the attempts at peace?
Some quite bad things about certain people in the Middle East?
Potentially, yes. Or saying that there are good people on either side and there are bad people on either side. I'm talking about Deep Space Nine now.
Yeah.
And it's not always white and black and white, or plus and negative. It's very, very confusing.
Aren't you pleased I brought this up as a couple of conversation?
Move on.
Absolutely.
No, but the whole thing is really interesting, because that's what we've said about sci-fi in the past, is that you can do these real world difficult issues and just paint over with there's a Cardassian. And
yeah, but it's only until people join the dots up and think about this that they go, well, hang on a minute, this is... When you're watching it at the time, did you think like that?
no, but you don't need to join the dots up at the time. It just gets you to start thinking about conflict of people and different cultures. You don't necessarily have to go, so that means that I don't like you because you've got grey in your hair.
What? What did you say?
I said I love the grey. Okay. But it just gets you thinking about those different conflicts.
Now you pitch like this, I think I need to go back and watch Deep Space Nine.
It's really good. It's actually really good. And there's some cheese in there, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff
Would be
in there.
Star Trek if it wasn't.
Yeah, and actually when you go back now, it's all shot in 4:3 rather than 69, which is a real shock.
Wow, that must really upset you.
Yeah, it really disturbs me quite a lot.
There's 176 issues of this dross.
Episodes.
That's what I meant.
It's really good.
Sure.
The whole war part of it later on, some people would say isn't as interesting because it loses some of that political commentary.
And just becomes a war series. Okay.
But what they try to do some clever things with it. I like that when the Klingons come in season 4, and it's this. You've had these 3 years of building with these characters and understanding these conflicts and trying to have the Federation unpick things and really it's not gone well, and you know the lay of the land, and then suddenly you've got this extra grit in the oyster that suddenly it just changes everything, and you've got this warlike people who leave the Federation. They suddenly become the villains again.
Who's that? The
Klingons.
The Klingons, yeah, okay. Wasn't there a character in Deep Space Nine who was a woman who the character died, but then something inside that character went into another person?
So she's a Trill. So you're talking about Jadzia Dax.
That's the one, yeah.
So she has a symbiotic space slug that lives inside her abdomen.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the Dax. And the interesting thing about her character, she's a strong female character, great to have on the command crew. Her previous symbiotic being was Benjamin Sisko's mentor, an old man.
Right.
Which is why Sisko calls her old man.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Jadzia has all of Jadzia's life. She's 30 years old. She's lived the life she's led. She also has all of the Dax memories as well. Spoilers for you. Jadzia and Worf
Get married?
They get married, and Jadzia dies, and the Dax symbiote goes into another being who has all the memories of loving.
What kind of
Worf.
being does it go into?
Another young woman.
Is it now? Where does that young? Are they grown to sort of become a?
It's in their race is to they know that they will take on that symbiote. Yeah.
Interesting. Very Handmaiden's Tale.
Yeah.
Very Handmaiden's Tale.
Don't
Anyway.
spoil it for me.
Sorry.
Reading the book.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Worf love the new Dax?
No, they struggle.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Bashir
Yes.
and Esri get together.
Esri Dax.
I believe it's Esri.
Oh, okay.
So Bashir is an interesting character as well to be in the comic book. You've got an Irish guy there as well.
Yes.
O'Brien, Chief O'Brien.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more Irish name if they tried.
Jesus.
Yeah. Bashir is an interesting character because he is this. His storyline changes halfway through the season. Sorry, the series.
From what to what?
Well, again, spoilers for a show from the 90s and the early noughties. He is a super clever doctor who everyone respects as being super clever, but then you learn he's actually been genetically engineered, and he's much cleverer than he lets on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and his character then has to have a massive shift because then people treat him differently.
Yeah.
He's actually an illegal being because it's part of the eugenics agreement after Khan Noonien Singh. You're not allowed to have genetically engineered humans, and
yet there is one.
and his parents paid for him to be genetically engineered to be a super genius, and so he has to pretend to be dumb for like 5 years on the show, and then when it turns out that it reveals, he's able to like step up, and he becomes kind of the Data character. He's like super clever.
I'm not sure if I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
It's about what it means to be who you are, and anyway, we're getting off of the diversity.
We are. Yeah. Okay, good.
Voyager.
Sure. They bring a Borg on board and make them one of the crew.
Step back.
Sorry. Okay, so first of all, you've got for all intents and purposes, a terrorist organisation, the Marquis,
Yep.
are being hunted by Voyager and the Voyager crew and the ship. And a member of the Voyager crew is on board undercover with the Marquis. Is it the security officer, the Vulcan, whose name I always forget?
Yes, it is. It's
It is.
Tuvok.
Tuvok, that's the chap. So he's undercover with them.
So hang on. You've got a white female captain,
Yes, about time.
about bloody time.
Yeah.
A black Vulcan.
Yes.
You've got a Native American second officer.
Yes.
You've got
Who's also a terrorist. Because he's part of the Marquis.
You've got an Oriental science officer.
Oh, yeah, Ensign Harry Kim.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got a half Klingon engineer, female.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got an alien.
Half Klingon again, though. Not
Yeah,
full, half.
exactly. Yeah. You've got half human as well, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
You've got an unknown alien as the bartender,
Oh, yes. What's he called?
Neelix.
Neelix. That's the chap.
And then later you have a Borg on the command crew as well. You've got for all intents and purposes a robot doctor.
I love the Doctor. He is superb. He's a emergency medical hologram, isn't he? Because the actual Doctor gets killed in the Marquis attack. Yeah, right. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I would say Voyager does the best job of representing diversity of all Star Trek.
You've forgotten there is one white
Tom Paris.
male.
Yeah,
Tom Paris,
and they put him down to like the lowest rank because
Yeah.
he's a bad guy.
He is a bit of a shitbag, isn't he?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
then
he redeems himself.
yeah,
but
he has an arc.
Yeah,
sure.
I would say Voyager does the best job.
Do you know, I think I watched all of Voyager apart from the last season. I think I just missed the last season for whatever reason.
Spoilers, they get home.
Yeah, of course they did.
Really?
Yes.
Shock.
Yeah. What do you think about Voyager?
I thought Jenny Wake used to get on my nerves. I don't know why, but she is a very strong character. Absolutely brilliant character.
She's the best of all the captains we've seen before, and then has her own like way of dealing with things. You know, she's got some of the dumb gung ho of Kirk. She's got some of the diplomat of Picard, but then she's just this really strong. She's like really fixed to her morals, and yeah, it's just great.
Wasn't there a softening of Janeway though? When the series started, the first and maybe the second season, she had her hair tied up.
Yeah.
And then when she got a haircut and her hair was down, it was like the character changed a little bit. Like she wasn't quite so Picard-like. or gung ho like. Yeah, she was a little bit more at ease with her surroundings. Yeah. I don't know. I did like Voyager a lot. I thought Voyager was great. I liked what they did with the fact that they were lost and it was going to take them 70 years, whatever it was, to get home at maximum warp.
It feels like an attempt to do the original series again.
Yeah, but in reverse, instead of them boldly going, it was them boldly getting home as quick as they could.
Yeah.
It's good. I liked it.
Lost its way a little bit with the Borg, I think.
Well, they sort of tried to dumb the Borg down a little bit, because at that point, going back to the fact that you had then Next Generation movies coming out, the second Next Generation movie was...
First Contact.
Thank you. Christ, I lost that for a second. Yeah. And they introduced the idea of a Borg queen.
Yes.
So instead of it being a hive mind, suddenly they had a queen.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Voyager had to have a queen in it.
I would argue that the movies don't do much for diversity. I feel like they just take the status quo and just go with the story.
Let's make a fun action film around that. Yeah.
I don't think they do much.
The one thing I did quite like that Voyager introduced was the fact that the Borg, there was a race that the Borg were trying to assimilate and couldn't.
Species
8379 or whatever it is. Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And the Borg struggle with them, and then almost the Federation and the Borg have to join forces to sort of defeat them. Is that right?
Yeah.
I remember that correctly?
But let's look at that through the lens of diversity. Do we like that?
Well...
The enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we do like that. But what you could say is that the Borg at that point weren't these mindless drones. They'd had enough humanity or enough whatever within
humanity,
them.
See, there you
I
go.
say humanity,
yeah, I know,
whatever,
but yeah,
within them to say, actually, we cannot defeat these guys. We actually need your help to do it.
Or is it on the other side that we can't defeat them? If we don't join forces, we're going to die. So I'm just going to take one for the team. Yeah. So it's all about self.
Is that when Seven of Nine comes in?
No, she's before that.
It's before that. Okay, I forget. Yeah. But again, in Seven of Nine, being a Borg basically, and then they slowly remove some of the cybernetic parts, and then she sort of regains her humanity.
Yeah, well, she's Spock again, right? Tuvok isn't even Spock in.
Tuvok is.
They try to Spock.
Tuvok is Worf.
Well, no,
almost,
but
he is. Yeah.
But he's still the Vulcan. And I think you've got... She, in some respect, would be like the Data for me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But then the Data is Spock from the original.
Yeah.
So I do genuinely think, from a lens of diversity, I don't think we're going to get better as we go on through these than Voyager. Sure. I think it stuck its flag firmly in the ground of, no, we're going to have a female captain. And we're going to have races from all over, and we're going to accept them, and we're going to actually...
work with them.
Well, actually, what we're going to do is face the facts that we don't all get on.
Yeah, good. And find some new common ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it. Very good.
One of my favourites, Voyager.
Yeah, I think I could probably go back and watch that again. Maybe I should watch the S9 first, though.
Unfortunately, I do like the shooty of Deep Space Nine.
The
shooty. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew,
oh my God.
Well, with my intellectual head on, I like Voyager more, I think.
Okay,
so
fine.
far, that's your favourite?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Then we jump back in time. That's
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World,
Nice.
thank you.
I've got it. Yeah, to explain.
The resident expert in the room is JB for
I'm
Enterprise.
absolutely not.
You are, because
I'm not.
every time we mention Enterprise, you sing the theme tune
Well,
to
it was a good theme tune.
Yeah. What happens?
What happened?
Yeah, what happens? You can't sing now.
No, I can't.
You have a sore voice.
They don't have shields on the ship.
No.
They're back to basics. They're stripped right down.
Is that why they're all white, like humans?
Well, there isn't. They aren't though. There's a white female Vulcan on there.
Yeah, and there's a black guy who's like navigator.
Yeah,
a pilot.
I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what any of them are called. I'm afraid.
But it's quite step back for me.
Yeah, well, bearing in mind these are the guys that Kirk and his crew were going to look up to because they lived 80 years before Kirk lived.
Yeah.
It wasn't very Star Trekky for me because it was Star Trek is supposed to be this whole great new universe with all this technology and everyone loves each other and all that sort of thing. And all these guys, from the episode that I did remember watching, they all argued with each other. Oh, hang on, wasn't there an alien doctor?
Yes, there was.
There was
an
alien doctor.
Yeah.
But he didn't know anything about human biology, so why he was the doctor of the ship, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
They just put an APB out on
There
it
was-
was a fly ship, and then just people got involved.
There was an Oriental communications
Hoshi.
officer. Hoshi.
Fine.
But it,
This wasn't Star
maybe
Trek.
I haven't seen it enough, but I don't feel like the side characters, air quotes, get enough screen time for this. It's all Captain Archer, Trip, and the other one.
Who's Trip?
Yeah.
Trip is
the chief engineer or
he is
security?
chief engineer,
yeah. And the
I like
yeah.
Trip.
Doesn't he have a relationship though
Yes,
with the Vulcan?
Yeah.
he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
after a while.
Yeah. I don't know. This show.
I get really unnerved when JB mouths something to me.
I
that
know
don't
it's
catch.
normally about boobs, so it's fine.
That is absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true.
Maybe I need to give this show more of a chance, but it just on the surface, when I'm scratching it, I really feel like this took a step back from a diversity point of view. I feel like it didn't try hard enough.
We didn't really know enough about this one, did we? 'Cause we didn't
No,
watch it. Who
but
watched Star Trek?
especially
Enterprise?
coming out of Voyager,
Yeah.
you know.
It was almost like they wanted to do something completely different.
Well, it's kind of, I don't know whether they're just trying to reboot the whole thing and start from scratch and have another link off in time. You know, you'd kind of gone through, hang on a minute, we've done a spaceship, we've got the next generation, they're on a spaceship, we've got Deep Space Nine, they're just stationary, but isn't there a ship that
Yeah,
comes
they
in and
got
out?
the Defiant,
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
can go away from home.
Yeah.
Voyager is next, like, well, we're going out, we're lost in space type of thing. So what can we do next? Oh, I know, let's just go right back to basics.
Yeah.
Strip away all their technology.
Yeah, and everything.
Make them just beginning.
But why can't the characters be
True.
infinite diversity and infinite combinations?
I don't know. Well, all I know is that the series didn't last very long and it was cancelled, and that was
3
that.
seasons, was it?
3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, maybe 4.
So maybe
It
what
was
you're
4
feeling-
seasons, 98 episodes.
Maybe what you're feeling is what the general Star Trek viewing public thought. And that is that this show isn't much. It's not really giving us much
Yeah.
of what we're used to. It's not a war show. It's not a discovery show or an exploration show. It's we're just starting out. The thing is when you do that, you know where they all end up. So, meh.
Yeah.
It was a bit of that.
So what about Disco then? Star Trek Discovery.
Well, I think Star Trek Discovery is great because it's a new way of presenting a Star Trek show in the fact that it's not like everything that had come before. It's more Game of Thrones in its presentation because
Sure.
it's got like a plot going all the way through. Is what
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to say.
But-
so not Game of Thrones, but
but-
any sort of newish.
Look at the
TV
main
show.
characters.
Yes.
How's it done with that?
Well, you have the lead actress, as far as I'm aware, is still a black female.
Yeah.
Then you had
And she's great. She's given all the screen time, which is fantastic.
you had a Chinese female lead character as well in the first episode of the first season,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's still in it. Maybe
Maybe.
we'll see. You've got an alien first officer.
Yep, great. Thank God they've done that, Simon.
Saru. I like
yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He can run really fast because he's got really talky legs.
I don't know if they did this in season 1 as much, but in season 2 he does this thing where he walks and his like hands wave behind him like a fish.
Well, I don't remember that in season.
I don't
one.
remember it much in season 1, but maybe he did it every now and then, but they didn't show it. But now, as I said, season 2 has kind of ramped up that diversity element.
They've evolved
and
a
they've
bit,
tried to make like really show off how different he is.
Isn't he when he's scared his gills pop out or something?
Yeah,
like that.
ganglions, I think they're called or something. Yeah.
I beg your pardon. Anyway, what else? Okay, so is it the engineer? The engineer is he's a white male,
Yeah, gay.
but he's gay,
Yeah.
and he's also, I think,
In a relationship with the black gay doctor.
who is spoilers,
Not alive anymore.
no longer with us.
Well,
What?
I haven't watched anything.
Don't worry about it, mate.
Great.
What else have you got?
Back in your box, JB.
Yeah, thanks.
You've got another engineering officer who's a woman. You've got a
Ginger-haired woman.
fine, yeah, sure, diversity.
Yeah.
You have a Klingon head of security,
What?
don't you? Who's no longer Klingon?
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, him.
You're flagging, aren't you?
No, I was just like, what are you talking about? It's not a Klingon. They're at war with Klingons. But yeah, okay. But not... That's a plot point rather than a... That's not the setting out of diversity from the beginning, right?
Sure, okay, fine, whatever. But I think
You've got
what
a
they've tried to do with...
robot navigator.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
You've got a lady with implants as the pilot.
Fine.
No, actually, I think the robot lady is a science officer.
Doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Because there's a black lady who's the navigator.
Right.
So you've got this growing element of main female characters.
Yeah.
I mean, how has it taken us 50 years to get to here?
Because
60 years to get to
because
here.
Hollywood is sexist and racist.
I know.
To varying levels.
I know.
You know, it's just how it is.
So, looking back at them all, guys,
Yeah.
how do you feel Star Trek has done from the beginning to now in portraying diversity of the world and the universe in both good and bad ways?
It's moved with the times to varying levels of success. It could have done more. It may be, like we said earlier, it set the foundation for diversity in TV. And it's been a good thing. It's been a force for positive change, I think.
Yeah?
But yeah, some shows could have done more. Next Gen could have done more.
I think Next Gen grew in time. I think it started out not as powerful as it could have been, but I think it grew over time.
Yeah, definitely.
Davey?
I concur with what Ben said. I don't really know what else I can add.
Do you concur, Doctor?
I do, yeah. It's like opening someone up.
We concur. Do you concur?
I concur.
Wow.
I think ultimately Star Trek is one of the most diverse TV shows you will watch, depending on when you watch it.
Fair enough.
And should people give Discovery Season 2 a chance? Because a lot of
Absolutely.
people turned off after the first 2 episodes of Season 1.
They should definitely give Season 2 a chance. First 2 episodes of Season 2 are brilliant.
Uh-huh. Is it a two-parter?
No.
Oh, interesting.
There's actually, there's a storyline going through all of it.
Yeah.
And I have a suspicion about it that I'll tell you offline.
Yeah. Fine.
Oh, no, do it now.
The most
How
diverse
exciting.
thing about Star Trek, I'm going to tell you right now, okay,
Yeah?
is that in 1989, I think is when it happened, maybe 1988, something that's still happening today, I look at your face, my face, his,
What's going on?
Riker grew a beard.
Oh, yeah. Powerful
Oh, he
stuff.
The
knows
most
Dawson as well.
diverse facial hair on TV.
I mean, that is the most white English male thing you could possibly say. But okay,
he was
yeah.
setting a trend as a hipster.
He
Bottom
was,
line.
Yeah.
And there's the argument, isn't there, that Star Trek Next Generation only got good when Riker grew the beard.
Really?
There is a good argument.
Did
yeah.
he start directing it then as well, or producing it at that point?
Oh, he William Frakes?
No, Jonathan
Frakes.
Frakes.
Sorry, if it's William Riker. Jonathan Frakes directed episode 2 of season 2 of Disco.
Oh, good.
There you go. That's why it's good.
Wonderful.
Good.
Shall I bring it home?
Yes.
We've done enough?
Yes.
Done enough diversity in Star Trek?
Yeah. More though, please. Please more.
Yeah, anyone who actually watched Enterprise who remembers it, which obviously we didn't and JP doesn't, let us know. Where was the diversity in Star Trek Enterprise? Was there any? Or was there not enough and that's why it was cancelled? Where can you listen to this podcast? On Podbean, on iTunes, on Spotify. Check the links in the episode description. You can follow us on social media, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Nerdschatting. Send us an email, nerdschatting@outlook.com. And we're on YouTube. youtube.com/nerdschatting.
We are actually, aren't we?
Are we on YouTube, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We flagging. We do not post much on there.
No, but you have done a video before, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done some videos. Yeah,
I don't.
We might do something in a couple of months. We'll see.
maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. That's probably it for today.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with something else.
Yeah.
Good.
Released on Mondays from now on? Question mark? High-pitched voice?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.